Oh, hey there. How you doing? Oh, me? I'm doing alright. Hey guys, remember Sega Genesis and that Golden Axe game they had? I loved that game, and it was one of the better Sega exclusives out there in my opinion. A medieval arcade style beat 'em up. Well, there was another game with similar style that was only released in Japan, called Dahna Megami Tanjo. It really is an under the radar game, and a translation was made for it at the end of August of this year. So I thought what better time to give it a try, as I've never played it before. I feel like I haven't been giving Sega any love, so let's change that, and let's take a look at Dahna Megami Tanjo.
In ancient times, there lived a wealthy family whose heirs were two daughters. The older daughter was named Regine, and the younger Dahna. These two sisters were born with exceptional powers that could enable them to summon the elements and other unheard of creations. It was this magic that many evil men within the spiritual underworld craved for, particularly Regine's, whose powers became stronger with age. On Dahna's 7th birthday, their parents lost their lives to a trap laid by these men, and Regine was taken away. Dahna, hidden beneath the wreckage of a carriage, survived by a hair's breadth. And so 10 years passed. The orphan Dahna had been adopted by a magician named Ma, living in the village of Horn. Under his supervision, she worked to hone her latent powers. One day, while she was out on an errand, Horn was attacked by a force led by an evil sorceress. She rushed back just in time to see Ma being dragged away. And so, as if guided by fate, Dahna set out on a lone journey eastward to rescue him.
Whoa, late night retro, the part of the story I didn't like? Is that Dahna never looked for her sister. 10 years pass, a wizard gets kidnapped and she goes out and looks for him? That little girl's gotta think. You got a sister, you got a responsibility. If your sister gets kidnapped, you don't call it quits, wait 10 years and go rescue a wizard. You get your ass out there and you find your fucking sister. Dahna Megami Tanjo, like Golden Axe, follows the arcade-style gameplay. The title of this game translated is Dahna, Goddess's Birth. The game is more of a hack and slash rather than a beat 'em up, so though it has a Golden Axe feel to it, it moves a lot quicker than it. Enemies don't have life bars and most die in just one hit. You are the young protagonist Dahna. You will adventure through 6 levels filled with plenty of baddies, along with some bosses. This game, though short, it's difficult. You can't be any geek off the street, you gotta be handy with the steel if you know what I mean and earn your keep. In this sense, it's like a double dragon. Short, but comes with a bang for its buck. You have a life bar, and at certain point thresholds it can be increased. Points are gained by killing enemies. In some parts of the game you can skip enemies, so it's very important not to avoid them and make sure you slaughter as many as you can, as when you get a health upgrade, it also refills your life to full as well, which will become very helpful as health pickups are very scarce. If played right, the health upgrades pop off with really good timing, and you get to stay in the action. If you play the game like a jabroni though, look out, you only have 5 continues and it's game over. Dahna has a 3-hit sword combo, a leap, a super leap, and a few other sword tactics, including a downward thrust move, Link style. With your sword, you also possess a magic. The magic bar has 3 different levels to it. A first level spell, which is an area of effect move where you unleash fireballs from your character. The second tier spell is a fog of war kind of spell, where you become immune to enemy attacks. The third one is a vicious Meteor lava flow spell that will decimate pretty much anything while doing a decent chunk of damage to bosses. The sweet spot is the second tier spell, the Fog of War. The invincibility really helps you, though it doesn't last long. The most powerful spell is cool to look at, but if you're good with your sword, you will want the invincibility all day every day. The game features mild platforming, where you find yourself scaling upwards and crossing treacherous gaps. The controls at first will seem stiff and make this platforming a very scary thing. As you grow accustomed to the feel of the controls though, you'll be crossing gaps and making leaps with no fear. The pacing of the game is great and it never feels like it's wearing you out. The gameplay varies throughout the game as well, which helps. One stage you'll be riding through the air on a griffin, and in another you'll be riding on a brute, crushing and splattering your enemies. For a 1991 release, the game was quite risque. There's blood gushing out of enemies at times, and I think I saw a set of ass cheeks. Not sure if it's the risky business that kept this from reaching the US, though it could have just been censored like Mortal Kombat for the SNES. Nonetheless, it's a damn shame. This was a fun game and was right up my alley. I love the fantasy and medieval setting it takes place in, and the dark music that guided me through my journey. I would recommend giving this game a shot if any of what you see seems appealing. I had to turn the difficulty down to easy. I know, I'm a bitch. but still I had to replay and reset a number of times. But it was fun enough to keep going. In the end, after much trial and error, I beat it with only using one continue, so maybe I should have stuck to normal mode and grinded it out. In easy mode, what I notice is there's less stage hazards, so you potentially will take less damage. Other than that, the bosses and such seem to have the same amount of health. There's a hard mode too, you're some kind of badass. I didn't play any of the game on hard, so I'm not completely sure how it differs. Well, that pretty much sums up Dahna Megami Tanjo. I want to thank the guy who translated this game. It really gave me more incentive to check it out, and I'm glad I did. I need more medieval action type games in my life. This has been Late Night Retro. Thank you for watching. Until next time.